NBA Top Shot is where the NBA's biggest fans buy, sell, and earn officially licensed video collectibles. Rip packs or purchase individual limited edition moments from the marketplace to build your ultimate collection. From rookies to legends, now you can flex your fandom by owning the greatest moments from your favorite players and teams. Your collection can even earn you a once-in-a-lifetime, money-can't-buy experience. NBA Top Shot users have recently attended private events with superstars like Klay Thompson, rising stars like Cade Cunningham, and even all-time greats like Magic Johnson. During NBA Top Shot's Holiday of Hoops, you can win your share of thousands of dollars in NBA tickets, jerseys, NBA Top Shot packs, and other amazing prizes. It's an NBA fan's dream. Sign up at NBATopShot.com today for your chance to win. Rep your team, flex your fandom, and own the greatest moments from the NBA exclusively on NBA Top Shot.
American Express Jersey Assurance is here to help fans. Listen to this. If you purchased a jersey from the NBA store using your American Express card and your player switches teams within 1 year of purchase, you can get a free replacement jersey. Pretty cool, right? Just make sure you use your Amex card and request a replacement within 14 days of the trade, and you can keep repping your favorite player no matter what the team. Terms apply. You can learn more about Amex Jersey Assurance at nbastore.com/Amex. You back your team, we back your jersey.
When I was in grade 6, I almost had a girlfriend. For our second date, we saw a movie on the weekend. I nervously put my arm around her. The circulation really made my hand hurt. And then I turned to her and we shared a kiss. We're just two awkward children making out during This Is It, and Michael Jackson singing Beat It in the background. At this point we weren't aware of his background. I don't think she enjoyed it. I definitely could use chapstick. The date was so frustrating, so I gave MJ a really low rating. Yeah.
Good morning, Sweet World, and welcome to the No Dunks Podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. Happy anniversary to basketball. Shout out to James Naismith. Way to do your work on this day in 1891. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the yard, and alongside me, thanks to the power of technology, Tass Mellis.
I thought the anniversary was like a week ago or something. Man, I can't keep up with the internet.
December 21st, 1891. That man and his peach basket invented the game. Canadian man in Springfield, Massachusetts. We love to see it. And filling in for JD all week long. Let's bring him in here. He had some pastry issues this morning. It's Jerome Chang.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, no, I got a coffee right before starting this broadcast. And so I'm lining up behind someone, and it's one of those smaller coffee shops. You know, they deliver just a limited amount of pastries on the day, nice fresh croissants, muffins, all those things.
Delicious.
I'm ready for my almond croissant. I'm ready to have that with my oat milk latte. She grabs all of them. Every single one of the croissants available. I think she's grabbing it for a meeting. I don't even know if she knows the coffee shop she's at. It's one thing if she's just like, I love every one of these, and I want to eat every single one of these croissants. But I think she just did a scramble. And I got to say, there's got to be, like, I don't know. I don't want to get to, like, is this good about this? But there's got to be something about monopolizing and taking everything available in front of you. I don't think, you know.
I don't think it's fair. You don't think
I don't think it's fair.
You think it's an unwritten rule? Because she didn't break a rule, Jerome.
There's no rules that are broken, but I feel there's like a little etiquette that's going on when it's a limited supply.
So you're starving right now. You've got your coffee, but
I'm a little peckish. No treats.
Okay.
We'll see how this helps all of the boards that I'm loading up for the rest of the day.
Fascinating. All right, we'll get you a croissant later in the day. Don't you worry.
Found coffee, by the way. Some people in the stream team were asking where I went, so found coffee. Quality.
Okay.
Toronto spot. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the stream team, as you mentioned them here in the comments, joining us live on YouTube. Comment away. liked the video, did some big like numbers yesterday. I think people thought I was serious when I said the more likes we get, Tass, the better our Wi-Fi connection gets. But maybe it's also true. You're coming in crystal clear here today.
Yeah, move locations, kick the family out, and actually I'm allowed to be in my house because the last 2 days I was in my garage. So things are better now.
Daddy's got to work, kids. Get out of this room so I can talk to my friend about basketball. Yes, well, we love the like numbers yesterday. Let's do it again today. And subscribe to No Dunks if you haven't done that. Send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. You can tweet them in at NoDunksInc. That's INC on the end. We're hitting the beach later today. And we got a good 4 or 5 questions to tackle. But Tess, there were like 80 tweets where I was like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a great comment. Oh, that's a good trade. I don't know if we got to hit the beach later this week too. There's so many good ones. I fear just letting them, vanish into Twitter thin air. But maybe we can do it later. But we'll get to it on today's show.
Yeah, or well, we're also going to plan on doing a show Monday as well. There's time for that as well. Throw them in there. Christmas is Sunday. I'll be done with my family, by that night. So they'll be out again Monday morning. We'll do another show then, probably our last one of the year.
Yeah, we are planning to at least jump on YouTube. Jerome is going to have some holiday fun going on, so it might be tough for us to flip that into a podcast. But join us on Monday, where Tass and I will get on YouTube here and talk about the Christmas Day games and maybe answer some more of your questions. So keep them coming. Get your limited edition Christmas wedgie shirt. It's available at nodunks.com. It's a beautiful bright red. I actually wore green today, Tass, because you were sort of wondering, can you pull off a red with that t-shirt that we have? And I said, well, look, I wear red and green around the holidays. So thank you for inspiring this. You got your Canadian denim on there today. I like the look of that. Did you know James Naismith invented basketball on this day?
I could have sworn I saw a Peach Basket tweet like 3 days ago. So confusing.
Well, when you think about it, okay, did he write the rules on this day in 1891? But okay, let's say he did that. I mean, he was spitballing this sport. He was inventing it for maybe weeks or months at a time, was he not?
Yeah, maybe 3 days prior, he was at his local coffee shop yelling at everybody, telling everybody about this new sport. He was posting it on the bulletin board. He was putting it up. Sure. But 3 days later, the Peach Baskets were up. And the young boys were running up and down the floor there,
right, and
throwing it up in the Peach Baskets. Who knows?
Yeah, no dribbling back then, too. Different game. If you're still looking for the perfect holiday gift, too, give someone the subscription to The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/gifts for a 50% discount on all plans. That deal good up until the ball drops on New Year's Eve. Theathletic.com/gifts if you want to give that to somebody. Okay. So we're going to tackle last night's games, but we're sprinkling them in amidst all this NBA news. And we start with the big news yesterday, Tass. Billionaire mortgage lender Matt Ishbia is finalizing a purchase of the Phoenix Suns and the WNBA's Mercury for a record price, $4 billion. That is the new record, Tass. Big news yesterday, obviously, down in Phoenix and across the NBA with a new owner here, probably.
Robert Sarver got a deal. You throw out that number, and sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around it, but he bought his team in 2004 for $400 million. And so he got 10 times the price for the Phoenix Suns. And it's wild to think that for everything that he did, the reports initially from ESPN about what he did to create a crappy work environment, to treat people like crap, to treat women, to treat everybody around him like crap. He was only fined $10 million, pennies. Basically, the number is it's like 0.25% of what he paid, or 0.0025% of what he just sold it for. So I think, looking back, really, sure, he took some public criticism, but the guy just made 10x on what he bought. So I think that is something that the league can try and change. That shouldn't be the highest amount. That 10 million is the highest amount an owner can be fined for something that it is deemed to be wrong And in this instance, he was fined $10 million. That $10 million means absolutely nothing when a team can be sold for billions. It's the same amount that a team can be fined for tampering. So I don't know if that number actually goes up because it has to be approved by the board of governors, essentially the owners. Right. So it is a slippery slope to just say, hey, we're taking the team from you, which is what people wanted from the team to be taken from Robert Sarver initially. But this team represents the league. And it is unfortunate that everything that he did essentially. And really, I mean, he just got a teeny tiny slap on the wrist when all is said and done before we get to Matt Ishbia. I just wanted to mention that because that has to change. Really, that number has to go way up.
Yeah, for those of you who maybe weren't keeping up on the story or even listening to the podcast, Sarver announced that he was selling the Suns and the Mercury in about mid-September, which was on the heels of a 10th month investigation into his conduct as a majority owner, which detailed allegations of racism and misogyny during his, basically his entire tenure there, like 17 years. Fined the $10 million, like Tass said, suspended for a year. There was that as well. But here he is selling now. And yeah, I mean, he 10x his purchase of the Suns back in 2004, which I think was a record-breaking purchase then for $400 million. So that just shows you, obviously, the evaluations and where these have gone. Just astronomical numbers here from 2004 to now 2022, with this one going for $4 billion along with the Mercury. What do you think about as we pivot to the new owner here, the likely new owner as this gets finalized, Matt Ishbia? Were you aware of this guy, in all honesty, before this sort of news broke yesterday?
I'm not in the owner circles, but
No.
if you do listen to some of these the people who are in the know, then yeah, he was around. He was a leading candidate for purchasing the Denver Broncos before they were purchased by the Walmarts recently, and that was, I think, a record-breaking $4.5 billion, and this one comes in a little lower at $4 billion. He would be the youngest majority owner in the NBA at 42 years old. Because he's done well with the family business, United Wholesale Mortgage. So I wasn't really aware of Matt Ishbia, although you do see United Wholesale Mortgage on the jerseys of another team.
That's right.
Of the Pistons. So apparently that won't be affected. There's no tampering there. They'll still be wearing the old UWM. They don't have to take that off.
Okay, good to know. And then, of course, what everybody was sharing about Ishbia yesterday was that he was a walk-on for Michigan State. And he was a part of the Spartans' 2000 national championship team, which, again, I am not a college expert, but that's like Mateen Cleaves and like Mo Pete and Jason Richardson. I think I have that era right of that Spartans team. So
it's gotta be.
This guy's, he's a hooper. I like, look, we know nothing about this guy, what type of owner he's going to be, how hands-on he's going to be, hands-off, frugal, whatever. I can't imagine he's going to be worse than Sarver, both as a human and probably how he takes care of his business in terms of like trying to put a little bit into it. But yeah, we'll see. I like that he's got some basketball ties there, Tass. That's always fun. I can't imagine Sarver was good at shooting basketballs, was he?
No, this guy's an NCAA champ as a walk-on. He said he was the 14th best player on a 14-man team. But I wonder, sure, he loves ball. He's probably a basketball lifer, but he was only months away from buying the Broncos instead.
This guy loves sports, man.
He loves sports. He loves
and money.
Making bucks, I guess. Because he turned the family business into a huge moneymaker. And I think his brother will also be part of the ownership group to some degree, but he's not 100% owner, which is what some people thought would be happening. I think the reports are now he's somewhere in between like the 60 and 70% range. So a lot of the previous minority shareholders will still be there with the Phoenix Suns. But it's good to see that Robert Sarver is gone from the NBA. And I just want some sort of punitive damages to be handed out if things happen like this in the future, because it's like a reminder, Sarver wasn't forced to sell the team. he decided at some point that it's probably my best interest to sell the team. And
I think he was probably encouraged, let's say,
sure,
you would hope so by Adam Silver.
But also, he also made a lot of money, so I'm sure he's not upset by it.
Yeah, yes. Rich asshole gets richer. News at 11. Look at these, though. We put this together, this graphic here. Shout out to Jerome for helping us out with this. Just the last 5 NBA franchises sold. We're on a bit of a run here, Tass. I don't know if you want to pool our money together and maybe make a play in 2023. I know you take care of your finances, but the Suns going for $4 billion. Last year, the Wolves $1.5 billion. Year before that, the Jazz $1.7 billion. Year before that, the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Tsai there, at a record at that point, $2.35 billion. And then back in 2017, the Rockets at $2.2 billion. That one, Tillman Fertitta. And then Ballmer back in 2014, I guess, was about $2 billion for the Clippers. I mean, it's a good business to be in, I guess. You buy one of these teams and just watch the money go up, 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 up.
Guaranteed billions. So congrats to all the owners who make a lot of money.
So let's talk then a little bit about the Suns. I mean, Ishbia buys this team, or again is finalizing the deal, and they go out and lose to the Wizards. Can he say, nah, I actually don't want it. Me and my brother were not interested anymore. The Wizards snapped a 10-game losing streak, beating the Suns last night, 113-110. And there was there was some spicy clips going around from this one, specifically clips of Ayton and Bridges getting into it a little bit on the floor in terms of what they were running or who was messing up. And that sort of translated or found its way, I should say, into the huddle where someone, 5 rows back got a clip of Monty Williams and Ayton visibly frustrated and sort of going at each other a little bit as things fell apart late in this game for the Suns. I don't know if your thoughts on this. Oh, we got the clip here. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, it was a bad night for the Suns on the floor, and maybe the ownership change kind of overshadows this, but they were up 10 midway through the fourth. And then the Wiz went on a 25-12 run to end the game. And this huddle that you're seeing, if you're watching on YouTube, was about 1:38 left in the fourth. Kuzma hits a 3. The Suns are down 5 after that big lead. They call a timeout, and DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams are getting into it. And Monty Williams is talking directly to DeAndre Ayton. And you could see Ayton sort of point over towards Chris Paul. And I think it's fair to say that Monty Williams basically says something like, I ain't talking to him, I'm talking to you. And you could see Bismack Biyombo and other teammates try and get Ayton back on the right page here. And it's easy to forget. After all this, Ayton was the guy who was set in Game 7 of that second round series with the Dallas Mavericks. And it sure seemed like that everything isn't entirely gone there in Phoenix. Now, of course, they don't have Booker in this game, but there's obviously some issues there. And then they go to the line a little bit later in the game. The Wizards are at the line, and Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton are talking. It sure seems like Ayton missed a screen set.
Yeah.
And then you get Bradley Beal jump in and do the classic Joakim Noah, like, yes, loving that you guys are really pissed off at each other. And there are some issues there. And Chris Paul ran into a screen from Taj Gibson a little bit earlier in the fourth, battled through it. He was dealing with, looked like a shoulder neck injury, reminiscent of what he went through Game 1 against the Lakers in the 2021 playoffs, where they went on to win that series, went on to go to the finals then. So, yeah, some bad stuff there. I think that is definitely something to monitor. I think that's sure. You guys get into it all the time, but the fact that Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton are getting into it after Ayton sat him, after Williams sat him last year in the postseason, I think that is real stuff. That ain't just one little blow up, Skeets. What do you think?
Yeah, and then, I mean, by all accounts, they didn't talk about it at all. That was the other weird part about it. It's like they have the blow up, they have the sitting, and then it just like festered, I guess, for all summer long. But then they come back and get off to a decent start, and Ayton had that massive stretch. Ayton was a monster in this game. He put up a really, really good stat line, and then probably made some, boneheaded plays down the stretch where he didn't know. It appears that one play where he was running the wrong thing. He didn't know where to set the screen. He didn't know how to free Bridges. sort of looks lost out there. And yeah, they're probably getting on him. Come on, man. This is a close game. We let up the lead. Got to be sharper. There's no Booker. Chris Paul is injured. You got to sort of step up here. And he took offense to that. Yeah, there's something. Look, there's some underlying, what's the word for it? I don't know. It's like we're just like waiting to see if Ayton will be traded, I guess, too, is the whole other part of this thing.
Really?
And does new ownership change that? I don't know.
You think that Ayton could be on? He's in the rumors for sure. You think he could be on the block? You think?
Yeah, but the whole thing was, I mean, he couldn't be traded, right? Until he's a January 15th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not great to have stuff like this. This stuff bubbling to the surface as you get closer to the possibility of trading the guy, but he's been so good for them too. So maybe this is nothing. Obviously, they're just pissed off that I think they came into this game thinking they were going to hammer the Wizards. And then they got punked. So it was like, oh, crap, we better play. So they did. They went on a massive run. And then they think they're like, oh, we've done enough. They're going to roll over and die. We got this one. And, the Wizards, kudos to Beal, kudos to Kuzma and stuff like that. They stepped up, hit a bunch of shots and stole it from them. But the Suns were like, they're all pissed off with each other here. Everybody playing a part in giving up that lead. It should have been a game they won. And I think they just thought they were going to easily fall into it.
Obviously, if you're looking at it positively, cup half full here, they're 19-13 and one game out of the top of the Western Conference standings. A ridiculous amount of talent up and down that roster. And that's why they'll win a lot of games here in the regular season. They should have won an additional one last night. But in the playoffs is when things could fall apart, when they're not mentally as tough as other teams like last season. So they should still have a ton of wins. They should still be a 50-win team in the regular season. It's the playoffs that we'll see if this all falls apart. And obviously, Ayton signed a contract offer with the Indiana Pacers. He signed that contract in the summer, but the Suns matched and he came back. So is he happy? He has been playing well. There's no doubt. Yeah. He's been very solid. But there are some things festering, obviously. On this team.
Well, let's move to another big story yesterday, and we compare it with them sort of quieting maybe the headlines a little bit with a win last night. I'm talking about the Chicago Bulls. We had The Athletic with the headline, Bulls struggles include managing on-court disconnect between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And there was a lot in that about those two maybe not seeing eye to eye. And there was a lot about Zach LaVine and Billy Donovan maybe not seeing eye to eye and what was going on there. But then the Bulls go and snap a 4-game slide last night, Tass, topping the shorthanded Heat 113-103. So, I mean, is this story already dead after they go and pick up a W in Miami, or could we see a little bit more fallout from this? What do you think?
Well, I don't really think there was a lot in the story about DeRozan and LaVine hating each other. I don't really think there's much to take from that side. There's the lead paragraph lists the best players, haven't found a way to win here. And it was interesting to read that the Bulls have had multiple team meetings to try and work out their issues. And quote, that has included one-on-one face-to-face sit-downs between DeRozan and Zach LaVine. So they're sitting in chairs, interview style, like 4 feet apart, looking at each other and talking it out. I mean, that would be hilarious. I would hope to see some film of that, even if we don't get the audio. That would be hilarious. But I don't really see that problem. I don't really see guys hating each other. They're just losing. And that's because what's different than last year? Obviously, Lonzo Ball's not there to be sort of a glue guy at the point guard spot. And Patrick Williams is playing and starting where he wasn't last year. But they do have 12 returning players, and they just don't have enough players doing the dirty work. Their D has actually been solid, but really, they don't play for each other on the offensive end. I think it just takes the oldest guy in the room, the guy who doesn't give an F, to say it. And that's what Goran Dragic said in a bunch of interviews posted on The Athletic the last few days. We're not playing for each other. It's as simple as that. Someone told me, and he was right, it's easy to talk about sacrifice, but somebody else's sacrifice is easier to talk about. When it comes to you, you have to sacrifice for the team. That's a different story. And I think that's what's happening. Look, Zach LaVine doesn't look like himself. And you could see body language. He's pissed all the time. Even yesterday, even in a win, He brought up the ball. He gave it to Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams decided to drive it. He throws up his arms. Like, what's going on here? I really just don't think they love playing with each other, and they aren't playing with each other. And I think Lonzo Ball probably covered some of those issues last year. He only played 35 games. They're 10 games above 500 when he played, and then they're 500 the rest of the way. So they obviously miss him. And they miss leadership, really. LaVine hasn't been that type of guy. DeRozan has never really been that type of guy. Vooch hasn't been that type of guy. And so I think they miss a point guard that kind of brings things together in Lonzo Ball.
I think also to include in all of this was the funny timing of Billy Donovan getting the secret, if you want to call it that, extension during the offseason when we found that out a couple weeks ago. And we're like, what? Why the hell was that a secret? And why are we just learning about that now? And this article that we had on The Athletic, it felt like it was a lot coming from Zach LaVine himself. Let me put it that way. In terms of this story and how the conflict or not seeing eye to eye, like I said, with especially Billy Donovan. You're right. I think there was less to the DeRozan and LaVine, like, hitting each other or something like that. These guys were like best buds, like not long ago at an All-Star game. So I don't think it was that as much as probably Billy Donovan and Zach LaVine. And a big part of it is a lot of the effort that Zach LaVine does and does not give, I think, from possession to possession. Now, last night, the AP report has a hilarious line. For one night, all was well with the Bulls again. Okay, you're playing the Miami Heat, missing some of their star guys, but they were down at halftime, and they roared back with a really big, strong second half. LaVine, 21 points on a more efficient, just 13 shot attempts, 7 assists, 6 boards, team high plus 21, and then DeRozan getting his and Vooch getting his. I mean, they had their quote unquote big three all contributing on the same night. And I thought they at least showed a little backbone last night, not rolling over and dying after halftime and coming out and getting the victory over a Heat team that's just as perplexing as the Bulls maybe. But I don't know, maybe it turns their season around a little bit here because wins cure all. But, just because they beat the Heat, it's not like it's a done deal and they're moving on and moving up the rankings.
Oh no. They won a game without Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry on the other side. And it's odd because the team is middle of the pack defensively, which is all you really want with this Bulls team when they're starting DeRozan, LaVine, and Vucevic. Middle of the pack, that's totally fine. It's the offense which is surprising. And I think the Patrick Williams continuing to start him is a problem, and I think they miss a glue guy in Lonzo Ball. I mean, that's what they are. That's the same guys coming back, and they aren't really playing for each other.
Also, weird note from this game: last night's Bulls Heat game, the league's first with 0 blocked shots since the Pistons Raptors back in 2016. 0 blocks. Not a single one. Now, they sometimes go back and change that after the fact. I don't know who's got the sucker job of having to rewatch the tape and find out whether there was a block or not or whether they want to credit one. But I checked this morning, and that box score still said 0, which is that's just a little random fact there for you, Tass. 2 guys that were in that 2016 game were in last night's game. Can you name them?
Sorry, who were the teams?
Pistons, Raptors back in 16. Obviously, Bulls, Heat last night. Who are the 2 players that played at least in the game? One's obvious. DeRozan. The other one's a little more difficult. He was on the Pistons. Now he's on the Bulls. You made a short about this man not long ago.
I made a short about a man not long
Name this
ago.
player. I just flipped name this player on you about the same player.
Drummy.
Yeah, Andre Drummond, big penguin. He got some minutes there last night. Didn't get a block though, because no one did. I'm just final thought here. Whether you want to buy this turmoil here between the Bulls superstars and their crappy start, and they got to make a move. The idea of some other teams with their stars, like Zach LaVine, any possibility? I mean, we tried to trade Vooch on yesterday's podcast, which we found to be a difficult sort of task. Like, who really wants him? Who's really giving up much for him? He's an expiring deal, all that. But any possibility at Zach LaVine and that big old contract being explored as moving off of him? Or no way, Jose?
What kind of value are you going to get for Zach LaVine right now? He ain't He ain't leading his team. The numbers are not the same as last year. He does look like the surgery still bothering him. Now he's not looking like the same player. First year of a max deal. I think his body language, and he has to improve for this team to get better. I ain't putting the blame on DeRozan or others. It's got to be on the guy who gets paid a ton. So I don't see the trade. Do you see a trade coming?
No, a lot of people in the stream team, and you've probably seen this online, some sort of Lakers Bulls trade where Westbrook's contract going back, and of course the picks to get the Lakers a player like Levine. There was obviously even DeRozan was rumored at a point. My favorite one here in the stream team is Levine for Beal. Just swap them. Okay. That would be hilarious. But no, I don't think it's likely that a guy like Zach LaVine is going to be moved right now. But I do think that whole Billy Donovan extension is something and is just as perplexing as it was a couple of weeks ago. Now, if they are continuing to butt heads, but maybe a win helps everything and they'll get a little win streak going here. I know Trey would be happy. The other games last night, Tass, we had the Knicks destroying the Warriors 132-94. Bing bong. The Knicks are back. They're hot. That's 8 straight wins for them. Jokic had a triple-double. A good old clean 13-13-13 to lead the Nuggets past the Grizzlies. That was the late game on TNT. And then Lauri Markkanen. Yes, there's Dapper Jokic. Lauri Markkanen scoring 38 to lead the Jazz past the Pistons 126-111. Any thoughts on those 3 games?
Well, yeah, the Knicks, ridiculous. They ran the Warriors out of town. Now, obviously, no Curry, no Wiggins, and a couple guys off the bench not there, and JaMychal Green and Dante DiVincenzo. But the Knicks are bullying teams and playing with pace and playing hard. They are finding their way. It's wild. So the starting 5 that they've settled on, and Brunson, Quentin Grimes in the backcourt, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell. That's the 4th best starting unit in the league. Teams of units that have played 150 minutes together. That is incredible.
Wow.
They are rolling. Do you know who the 3 better teams are in terms of their 5 starters beating the other team's starters?
The Warriors were really good for a while.
Yeah, the Warriors are still there. It's kind of wild. The Warriors still there. They're 5 when they go together.
The Celtics? I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, the Celtics.
Yeah. One more?
Yeah, you just mentioned them.
I just mentioned them.
Yeah, when you're going through the games there.
Oh, the Nuggets?
Yeah, the Nuggets.
Oh, wow. There you go.
So the Knicks, the 4th best point differential per possession of their starting 5, and they've got 12 of their next 15 against sub-500 teams. It's wild. They're playing hard. They're playing tough. They're killing teams. It sort of makes sense that the Nuggets, as you mentioned, the 13-13 from Jokic, that their starters are good because they depleted their bench coming into the season. But Jokic, the god, he has brought them into a tie for the 1 seed. The Nuggets are up there, even despite them depleting their bench. You got another Jeff Green, huge jam last night. I can't
What is
believe
with this guy? I mean, does he get just drug tested after every game at this point? Like, he was soaring on that one.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. You think every year it's going to be his last year adding to the mixtape, but man, and Jokic obviously adding to the mixtape with the assist there. Although if you were talking about checking the tape and blocks and all that, he had a 14th assist that he didn't get. Katie Wingy broke it down, but let's go with the triple 13s there.
Yeah,
pretty cool. And he's dressed to impress. We saw that suit. God, the suit is beautiful. He was asked about it after the game on TNT, and he simply said, "It's business. It's business time." No, what he said was, "Yeah, really, I'm showing up to work. Got to wear a suit, looking good, and leading his team again, tied for the 1 seed quietly with Jamal Murray not looking like himself, and Aaron Gordon playing probably his best ball of his career. Could easily be an all-star joining him if the Nuggets continue to rise in the standings."
Yeah, I think, look, I could squint and see Aaron Gordon as like an all-star injury replacement, right? If 1 or 2 is needed. I don't maybe see him getting selected, but he's played awesome for them. What was your favorite Jokic pass from last night, though? Was it the one where I mean, both were of the no-look variety, but the one where he sort of in the paint sort of flings it over his shoulder, or the one where he, hut, and dropped it between the legs to a cutting Brown who threw down the dunk. Which one you going with?
Yeah, between the legs for Brown, no doubt. I mean, that was nuts.
Respect. I've been noticing this from some of the Nuggets players. I have no idea if it's true, but some of these incredible Jokic passes, like these unbelievable dimes where you're like, how did he see that come in? Or how did he slip it through there? I think a lot of these guys, Brown included last night, they're purposely trying to throw it down to make the highlight even better. That one, I was like, he could have laid that in quite easily last night on that pass. And he's like, no, I got to dunk this. Make it even more of a highlight. And I feel like Gordon likes to dunk everything. But of course, there's a couple other guys where I've seen a couple times this year. I'm like, respect. They respect the pass so much that they're trying to hammer it down when they could have just laid it in.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing Kevin Durant was talking to Jamal Crawford about dropping Daniel Gafford. We had a short talking shorts. We had a short about Gafford and getting into the splits there. And Durant said that he pulled up for the J because he was thinking to himself, what's going to look cooler, pulling up for the J or throwing it down? I do agree. You drop a guy, the J is the way to go, but he could have thrown down a jam too. That's unique in those situations. All guys pull up, you got space, shoot it. But he said in the moment, that's how fast his brain is working in basketball terms. I'm just going to pull up. Looks cooler than throwing down a dunk. But I think the dunk would have looked even more unique is all I'm trying to say.
Well, good wins from the Knicks, the Nugs, and the Jazz, who continue to stay above 500. And Lauri Markkanen, I mean, at this point, you're going to be like upset if he doesn't make the All-Star team, right? If he doesn't get selected. The guy keeps putting up like 35s and 38 last night, 9 threes. Like, he has to be there. He has to be the representative of the Jazz, especially in a game in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I know people expected him to fade a little bit because he hasn't had this type of season in the NBA, but he is staying strong, boy. 38 last night, tying his career high and a new personal best of 9 threes. And it could have been 40. He left the game with 2:39 to go. Could have got to 40. But he's staying so solid. So if it's coming down to guy like Markkanen versus Aaron Gordon for one of those all-star spots, got to go to Lauri.
Yeah, that's that, and that is why I think AG then goes to like the injury replacement type level. But then again, there are not a ton of bigs in the West. It's all guards. It's like, oh my God, how do we leave off this particular guard or this particular guard? It's a smaller pool of like all-star level players when it gets to the forwards and center spots in the West. So maybe AG straight up makes it. His case has helped if the Nuggets have the number 1 seed for sure in the Western Conference. But voting is now official. Have you voted yet, Tess?
Is it today?
Well, starters yesterday it was launched. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm voting for Lauri.
Okay.
No doubt. I'll get him in there. But thanks for the reminder. Is it a double day? I love double days.
Double days. There's a couple of them. I don't have them circled on my calendar, but when I find out, I'll let you know. You like your vote to count twice, do you?
Exactly, of course. But I like no repercussions for my vote. Just like I'll have no repercussions for telling Dysolis to do this. He's throwing in there Nugs plus 1,600 to win the NBA championship. Do it, yes, sir. Do it. Riding high. Why not?
I mean, geez,
it's not my money.
Those are some juicy odds. Look, this is a team that doesn't even have Michael Porter Jr. playing for them, and they're racking these wins up.
Get to the finals with what's happening in the West.
Yeah. I mean, if it breaks right, for sure. You got an MVP guy in Jokic. That's not an insane bet at all. Sprinkle a little bit on every team in the West. Cover your bases. Because who knows who comes out of there. Okay, let's take our first break. When we come back, though, we're going to hit the beach to answer a few of your NBA questions and comments.
Peloton, my old friend. Where are my notes? Oh, guys, here it is. It's always this time of year that we start thinking about what next year will bring. We start thinking about resolutions to work out more. But let's face it, they rarely stick. Hey, Maybe you're the type that needs a little extra incentive to stick with your plans. What, living longer and looking good naked not good enough for you? Well, Peloton gets it, they get you, and they've got a gift for you. Get $200 off accessories like cycling shoes, heart rate monitors, and more when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread, and up to $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton guide to take your workout to the next level. Make this first step toward achieving your fitness goals in 2023. And once you start, you'll see why so many people stick with Peloton, with a variety of workouts from cycling to scenic runs, boot camps to power walks. You'll find classes that work for you, taught by world-class instructors who know exactly how to get the best out of you. So don't wait. Get this offer before it ends on December 25th. That's less than 2 weeks away, right, Tess?
Yes, less than 2.
That's right. This expires on December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com. All access membership separate. Offer ends, again, December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Merry Sorbsmas! And a happy Sorbidays to everyone.
Yes.
It's not all sleigh bells and mistletoe out there. It's also picking out a tree bigger than your station wagon and having to figure out how to get it home. Or leaving your kid at home alone while you travel to France. And it's even accidentally becoming Santa when you put on his suit after he falls off your roof. That actually happened to a close friend of mine named Scott.
Wow.
Yeah. Haven't seen him since.
Jeez.
Got huge, man. Huge and old. Out of nowhere. Guy fell off his roof. Some of these guys Santa Claus.
Wow.
Nonetheless, you can fight holiday stress with Next Evo Naturals. Unlike other CBD brands, Next Evo's Smart Sorb technology delivers CBD to your system in as little as 10 minutes. Smart Sorb upgrades CBD's natural absorption power. It's scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD fast. The only brand clinically proven to deliver 30 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. Yeah, that's Next Evo Naturals, baby. You can get smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals and up to 25% off subscription orders of $40 or more at nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS. That's nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS.
Champions aren't born, they're made. And the secret to making your business reign supreme? Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere, whether you're selling warm-ups or wall hangers. It's time to start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. With Shopify, you'll customize your online store to your brand, and you'll discover new customers, and you'll build the relationships that create diehard fans, like our diehard No Dunks fans. Shopify fields all the sales channels to grow a winning business, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Social media, hot right now.
Social media?
Big time. Social
Yeah,
media
yeah.
is having a moment.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, and thanks to 24/7 support and free on-demand business courses, Shopify is on your team every step of the way. It's a well-known fact that Jimmy Butler started selling $20 cups of coffee, no matter the size, in the NBA bubble back in 2020. But did you know that Jimmy brought his love of coffee and community to the digital world? Seriously, Big Face Coffee uses Shopify. Jimmy gets buckets, and Jimmy gets bucks with Shopify. When you're ready to take your winning idea to the world, team up with Shopify, the e-commerce platform powering millions of businesses down the street and around the globe. Try out Shopify for free today and start selling anywhere. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. And sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/nodunks. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/nodunks to start selling online today. That's shopify.com/nodunks. Right, No Dunks still here in the yard. If you're joining us live on YouTube, hit the like button. Play your part. Let's slip this news in real quick before we hit the beach. It happened right before we went live this morning. Woj reporting, after 6 seasons, Atlanta's president of basketball operations, Travis Schlenk, is moving into a senior advisory role. GM Landry Fields will oversee basketball operations. And then what we're saying, how Schlenk acquired significant talent, including Trae Young, and they reached the Eastern Finals in 21. I guess an official report or announcement coming from the Hawks later today. Any thoughts on Schlenk moving into this different role and Landry Fields taking over duties, Tess?
Well, it's a good move to get a younger guy in there without really shaking up the front office. It's not a firing; it's a move over to a different position for Travis Schlenk and for Landry Fields to really take over. I believe in Landry. Sure, Travis Schlenk's moves haven't entirely worked out. Obviously, won conference finals and then a fallback since then has not been what the Hawks fans have desired, or obviously what ownership desired. Although I guess you'd think about it, Skeets, a few months ago, he basically traded the entire cupboard for DeJounte Murray, and now Landry Fields is taking over. So are they peeved with that particular move? Because, I mean, they approved something where he absolutely went for it with that move. But it sure feels like they are peeved with it. They want something entirely different with Landry Fields.
I always wonder when something like this happens to a guy whose name has been in trade rumors for like at least 2 years running, in John Collins. Does it make it more likely something happens here as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, with now Landry Fields in theory picking up those phones, making those calls, and having those connections with the other GMs and the other people in charge of the decisions on the other teams to maybe move him? Or the opposite. And, Fields is like, no, Collins, we can keep him here. And that's a good piece. And the contract he isn't all that bad. So I don't know. If I'm guessing, put me down as the first option there, that this helps a guy like Collins potentially get moved for something.
I totally agree. Because Landry Fields, a grinder in the NBA, somebody who found his way in the NBA, was well liked in the NBA. And it's like the old thing that people say about coaches, that those type of role players often make better coaches than superstars, because they had to work for it. They're better, probably communicators. They take direction better. And maybe Landry Fields understands that the John Collins factor, better talent than what they're going to get back, but maybe not the best fit chemistry wise.
Yeah.
And maybe Landry makes that change and understands that there's got to be a different mix in that locker room. Maybe it's Jay Crowder, maybe it's somebody to just piss people off.
It's also possible that Nate McMillan is ultimately let go too, and they bring in a coaching change. There's that option too, with someone new above you calling the shots.
That's true. That's true. I guess why wouldn't they do that first if they're gonna? But can't wait.
We'll find out. Let's hit the beach. Let's do it. Yeah, stepping on the beach, the only place to read your emails and tweets. And we need the beach here in Atlanta. I don't know where you guys are tuning in, but it is cold here in the south, and it's only going to get colder. Tess, are you worried about your pipes freezing in Johns Creek there? You're by a creek. No?
Yeah, you're going to run your pipes there, Skeets? You got to run the pipes, as they say?
No, I'm definitely not going to do that, but it is supposed to get down below freezing here, which is very, very rare for Atlanta. No matter what season it is, that just doesn't happen often.
Even during the day, it's going to be. You got to run your water Skeets.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be doing that. I'll take my chances on that. But yeah, we're on the beach because it's a little warmer, and that's where you guys send your emails and your tweets, nodunks@theathletic.com, or tweet them in @nodunksink. I said off the top, my God, we got almost 100 great. All of them were not great, but I want to say 50 really good tweets last night with some good questions and comments, but we'll get to a couple here. First one from Jesse. What has to happen to the Nets team-wise for KD to get serious MVP consideration? Again, thank you to Jesse tweeting that in. Do you buy sort of Jesse's premise here, Task, that we're always talking about the MVP table and who's at the top of whatever, the MVP ladder and all that. And KD has been overlooked despite unbelievable numbers, his team now getting some success. Is that fair? Is Jesse right?
Jesse's 100% right. Well, we've been saying it for a little bit now. His numbers are comparable to basically every star around the league.
Yeah.
But he's at a disadvantage. He's fighting an uphill because his locker room has been turned upside down for the first month of the season. But what does he have to do, Jesse? Well, he just has to keep doing what he's doing. He's been so solid and steady all season long. But I think, like, let's say he's at the same level as Jason Tatum and the Celtics if they get up even that high, if they're able to climb that high. And
I mean, they're 3 games back of the Celtics right now. That's it.
Yeah, the Celtics have fallen off. The Bucks are right with them. Bucks are playing incredibly well. It looks like the 1 seed is theirs to lose now because they're back healthy. They've exceeded my expectations for the regular season. But I think if Durant was even with Tatum, he still wouldn't get it just because he'd be punished by voters because of the locker room, because of all those stories, because
you requested a trade in the offseason too? Do you think
because the whole kit and caboodle. Yeah, that's part of it. The Kyrie thing is part of it. The Nash firing is part of it. Yeah, the whole thing. But if he's able to recover and I would say have a better record than the Celtics, if they are able to beat the Celtics in the standings, then that's his case. Mm-hmm. And so that would mean between 55 and 60 wins. And yeah, that would be it for me.
Yeah, I think it is overlooked in the sense just how great this season has been for Kevin Durant. Like, this is the greatest season he's ever had in terms of just pure efficiency, like effective field goal percentage, still scoring 30 a game. He's averaged more per game, but not this efficient, which is pretty wild. I mean, it's almost like it's Curry-like in that sense, right? Where it was like Curry's won MVPs and he's having an even better season than he's ever had. I think that's sort of going on with Durant right now, but uphill battle to climb to win it for sure. I think because the voters are not going to feel great about giving their vote to someone that did want their coach fired. Okay, that's happened before in the NBA, and obviously they moved off of Nash and it seemed to have worked out. So maybe he was right. Or like the ultimatum of like trade me, all that stuff happening in the offseason. But he's still there and he's kicking ass. I think he's like squarely at the table though right now too. Mm-hmm. I think because of Curry's injury, I think maybe a little bit because of the Celtics and Tatum having not a rough patch by any means, but they were just like lights out in the first 6 weeks, that it's a lot closer, KD Tatum, if you're picking between the one or two of them to sit there with Jokic and with Giannis. And I mean, who am I forgetting at this point? I'm probably forgetting. Oh, Luka, I guess, but his record sucks now too. His team dipping below 500. So yeah, he's there. He's there. For him to win it. I mean, like, who has a tougher chance to win it, Jokic or KD? Because Jokic, of course, the narrative of like, oh, they don't want to give it to him 3 years in a row. Only the greatest of the greats have ever done that. What do you think?
Well, it's probably Durant. I know the Jokic, obviously, yeah, the two-timer, that hurts him. But he also has the ability to take his team to number one in the standings, as we're seeing right now, which would be so different than the last couple of years. So he's got that advantage in a way. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets stuff is just so fresh on every voter's mind. All that crap going around that team, including his demand for a trade. So the Bucks are making it hard, and Giannis is making it hard on everybody too. The way they're climbing the standings, they dealt with Chris Middleton, no problem, and now they're the best team in basketball. They've surpassed the Celtics.
Yeah, the MVP tracker on Basketball Reference has Jokic at number one with a nearly 47% probability, to three-peat here. Then it's Giannis at about 15% in second. It's Luka with his unbelievable stats, despite the team being 15 and 16. He's at 11%. And then it's Tatum, Durant, Sabonis, yes, at 6, AD, Mitchell, Curry, and Zion. Okay, so that's what the Basketball Reference MVP tracker currently has it as. But yeah, KD's sitting at the table. I think that's for sure.
All right, let's get to our second mail question here from Dream Googles. That's his handle. That's probably his or her
that
handle.
may have been a typo by me. I think it was Dream Goggles.
Oh. All right.
My bad.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So Dream Googles says the idea for the flexible Christmas slate is actually great, as we talked about. Just change the games if someone is injured. In fact, I'd love to hear a segment about an ideal Christmas schedule for this year as of right now. Dream Googles. I've been dreaming
Slash
about
goggles.
this / goggles. Sure. I've been dreaming about new graphics for our mail questions. These are looking great. Simple. These are looking great. Through my Dream Goggles, I'm seeing some nice graphics here. And if you were looking at the December 25th schedule, I know you said, why can't we change it?
Why don't we flex it?
I totally think that we should be able to. We should 100%. It's killer. It's killer for the league, even though Morant's playing the Warriors and you got Morant there. Curry is not anymore. Curry will not be playing.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts with all the promotional materials out there. The first game I see every time a promo comes up for Christmas, it's Warriors and the Grizzlies. And obviously the Warriors are not the same without Steph Curry. So get somebody else in there. What would you do, Skeets, if you could?
Well, let's quickly remind everybody of what the actual Christmas Day schedule is, because I don't think it's terrible. I mean, It sucks, the injuries and all that, but here it is for just a reminder. It's the 76ers and Knicks at 12 p.m. They get us started there. The Knicks always get that slot for the most part. Lakers at Mavericks, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Bucks Celtics. Oh, I like that. 5 p.m. Eastern. Grizzlies Warriors at 8, and then Suns Nuggets at 10:30. Again, like that's pretty good when you have to make this schedule in August or whatever they do it. That's not bad. I remember we were like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, a couple of the injuries or maybe some of these disappointing teams diminishes that schedule a little bit. So let's flex it up, baby. Now here are my rules. 1, if your record is under 500, you're out. Okay, I'm just going to make that rule. So that means the Lakers are not going to be playing on my Christmas Day. That means, unfortunately, the Mavericks are not going to be playing on my Christmas Day. That means I can't put on my Homer hat and play the Raptors on Christmas Day. So that's just going to be one of my unwritten rules. The other one is if your superstar player is injured, then you're probably coming off the board too. Mainly what I'm talking about here is the Steph Curry injury. We know he's not playing. So let's take the Warriors off of Christmas Day. Let's give them that day off. They're always playing on Christmas Day anyway. But I had one other thought here too, before I get you to my 5 that I want to see. How about, as a form of punishment, Tass, either like the worst 2 teams in the league or something, or maybe we even put it to a vote, teams with the worst vibes, teams that for whatever reason people have soured on, or disappointing teams. Like a punishment is, hey, you guys got to play at like 9 a.m. on Christmas morning. So it's like we would have teams trying to avoid being in that spot. No one wants to play at 9 a.m. in the Christmas morning. I mean, I wouldn't mind it on my TV while we're ripping gifts and stuff like that. Sure, just have it on in the background. Gives them something to avoid, though. They would play their asses off to try and stay out of that game.
Okay, but let's take it a step further. Empty arena, no cameras.
Okay.
Because I don't
no cameras.
I'm not watching that at 9 a.m. That's kind of a punishment for the world.
No, how about this? Okay, let's compromise. No fans. They got to be there at 9 a.m. to play, to tip ball, but we only use like the backboard cameras, like through your NBA Overtime app or something like that. It's all automatic cameras. Like we don't have to have a poor TNT or ESPN crew in there. Just let
we got robots for that if we want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're killing the fans. Like the people at home. I don't want to.
Why?
I don't want to watch that.
You don't have to watch it.
Well, yeah, I know, but you're like if you're a Rockets fan, you're going to have that on. It's no good for anybody.
I think it could be the most entertaining game of the day because it would be like a shit show. These people, like, they're all tired and hungover. They're angry as hell. All these players and coaches would be pissed that the league's forcing them to play at 9 a.m. Anyway, I think
I love watching hungover people play basketball. One of my favorite things to do.
Joss, he or she agrees with me. Okay, let's get to my actual schedule. If I'm flexing away, here's what I'm going to propose to you, Tass. I have no problem keeping the Knicks in MSG at the 12 p.m. slot. I have no problem with the Knicks in that 12 p.m. slot. All right. I'm a man of history. I like it. Tradition. And they're on an 8-game win streak. So they're playing really well. They could have a 10-game win streak going in if they can take care of the Raptors and the Bulls this week. I think it's the Raps tonight, Bulls on Friday. They could be on a 10-game win streak come Christmas Day. So
you're a man of history. They played the first NBA game on this court.
Well, there you go.
This was the court in Toronto in 1946. They should play on this court.
Okay, I'm not against that idea.
Well,
it won't be against the Huskies, though, okay? It's going to be the Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Knicks. Just keep it in state. It's a rivalry we've tried to make happen. It doesn't really sort of catch on. But, Nets are playing great right now. They got the superstars to draw some people in, the casuals. Nets, Knicks, 12 p.m. Eastern from MSG, the greatest sports arena in the world. Okay.
I can't believe Christmas is 4 days away.
I
was just thinking, you said that Luka isn't making the list because he's sub 500. Well, he's got time to do it. He doesn't have time.
Not a lot.
4 days remaining. This is wild.
Okay, so Nets, Knicks. I'm going to keep the Bucks Celtics game. That's a perfect matchup right now. Two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to move it up to the 2:30 slot. I prefer that time on Christmas Day. I mean, we get into the 5. I've got Christmas dinners. I'm distracted at that point. So I'm putting it to 2:30. But we're keeping it
more important time slot for you.
Yeah,
you're more alert. I hear you. Also, it's like the third game. That's a bad time slot. 3 games in a row. It's like watching 3 NFL games in a row. I'm done by the third game.
Yeah, right. So, okay, Nets, Knicks, Bucks, Celtics. Then at 5 p.m., I just want hopefully some highlights, something to reinvigorate me and watching the hoops. How do you feel about a Cavaliers Grizzlies game at 5 p.m. on your television set on Christmas Day? I mean, Donovan Mitchell versus John Morant? I mean, somebody's going for 40 in that game. I will guarantee you that.
I like adding the Cavs. I just hope that the Pels get added as well.
Oh, don't you worry.
All right. Just make
because our next game, it's the real rivalry right now in the NBA. It's Suns-Pelicans.
That's a good one.
So that's where we're putting it. 8 p.m. Eastern. I don't think that's too crazy. I went back and forth. Do we put it in Phoenix or do we put it in New Orleans? I think that crowd right now in the blender there in New Orleans, I think they would be a fun crowd on Christmas Day. So I'm going to give them the home team, and we're going to let them play for the 5th time. They've already played 4 times, so that's an issue. But who cares? Just do it again. No one's really keeping track. So Suns Pelicans at 8 p.m. And then my final game, a little wild card here. I think Jokic has to be on. I almost think it should be a rule if you're the reigning MVP, you should be featured to some extent. So Nuggets are going to Sacramento to play the Kings. We might see the beam lit on the top of the Christmas tree of the Golden One Center. We might not. And I think we have an entertaining Nuggets-Kings game at night. So there you go. I'm going Nets, Knicks, Bucks, Celtics, Cavs, Grizzlies, Suns, Pelicans, and that frisky rivalry. And then we got the Nuggets and Kings. What do you think?
Listen, we all make mistakes. Throw it in the Sacramento Kings there at the end. It's wrong, Skeets.
So wrong. Who should it be?
Well, it could easily be the Sixers is fine. Joel Embiid banging.
Nobody wants to watch the Sixers. Nope. No,
Joel Embiid versus Jokic. Come on. Even this. I understand your rule. I'd rather have Luka versus the Nuggets. It shouldn't be the Kings. I know there's got to be a better solution than a star on top of a Christmas tree. And I'm all up for thinking about a beam on top of a tree as a solution. If somehow, some way at home, I think that would be cool, but I'm not up for the Kings at the end.
I need some fun basketball at the end. I don't want the Sixers. I'm sorry. A lot of people do not enjoy watching them. People are saying the Clippers. Do you watch the Clippers? It's not that enjoyable. They're good, but it's not an enjoyable watch.
Yeah. So you drop,
man. That's a nightcap.
You drop the Warriors. You drop the Lakers.
Yeah,
acceptable.
I have to. Yep.
Acceptable.
Yep.
I would throw Luka in there or the Sixers in there, but all in all, the New York rivalry to start: Bucks, Celtics, Cavs, Memphis. I'm always up for that. Phoenix, Pelicans needs to be done.
Yeah.
And
okay, how do you feel about Nuggets, Blazers instead then? Instead of Nuggets, Kings.
Yeah,
That's
all
fair.
right.
I see the stream team suggesting
Yeah,
that.
that's
Good. I got
cool.
no problem with that. Okay, it's one of those ones. All right. We
Cool.
fixed it. We
Great
flexed
stuff.
it. Woo!
And
All
it
right,
should
next
be able to
question.
be flexed.
Yeah,
as well.
it absolutely should. Next question from Brandon. In a vacuum, does OG Anunoby have more trade value than Karl-Anthony Towns? And if so, should it be that way?
What
do
a
you think?
question, Brandon.
I don't know. Yeah, wow.
What an incredible question, because it got me thinking. This is from Zach Lowe's report that everybody wants OG Anunoby and that the package would be on par to something similar, not quite the package that was garnered for Donovan Mitchell, which is multiple draft picks. We're talking multiple draft picks and good players, essentially. Lowry Markkanen, a recent draft pick in Abaji, and Colin Sexton. And I started thinking, is it possible that OG would garner anything close to Karl-Anthony Towns? Now, we're talking about two players on two very different trajectories. Karl-Anthony Towns, drafted in 15, and in the GM survey done by NBA.com after his rookie season, and then again after his second season, was voted to be the player that GMs would most like to build around. The number one player. And that feels like eons ago. And it was. And in terms of basketball, that's 5 full seasons ago. Now, OG Anunoby, obviously in a different trajectory, but not the same package, I don't think. Still a little short of Karl-Anthony Towns' package. But that's a very good question. And I still don't think OG is going to garner anywhere close to Donovan Mitchell type package.
No, this is insane. What are people talking about? I love OG. It's not even close. I mean, he's a great defensive player. Yes. He can score a little bit. Sure, he's gotten better, no doubt. He still is always injured. I mean, there is that. I don't know, for whatever reason we don't bring that up with this guy, but it's tough to get 70 games out of this guy, let alone a full season. So there's that. That's a bit of an issue. And it's like, he is not getting 3 or 4 draft picks. Like, we're not even close to that sort of package. It's going to be like, if you got 2, okay. 2 and obviously a young prospect, maybe. But this is, I mean, I'm a little surprised by these reports. That I'm not surprised that everybody wants OG. Of course they would want him. He is a great 3rd, 4th, 5th player on your team. He's not a superstar. But as whatever you think of Karl-Anthony Towns, that's disrespectful to Cat. They're totally, completely different players, but there's a big difference in my mind between the two. And I love defense, but this guy, people say he's like Kawhi 2.0, like that. Pump the brakes, man. He's not that. I don't think. I mean, I'm going to say it. OG's a lot closer to Aaron Gordon than he is to Kawhi Leonard. Okay? It's a lot closer. He's probably in between, but it's a lot closer to that one than it is up there at Kawhi's peak. So that's where I'm at on him.
Yeah, we were looking, if a team was going to trade for him, it would be a team that overpays because they're right at the championship level and they know that they need a number 3, essentially, a guy who doesn't have to create for himself, like an Aaron Gordon, but can create after everybody else, has their turn, is secondary creator, and can defend like all hell. And it just takes one team to overpay. Yeah. And when you said 2 draft picks, it reminds me of the Bulls essentially overpaying for Vucevic, when they had Zach on the roster and then they go and get DeMar after Vuce, but they traded 2 first-round picks plus a young player in Wendell Carter Jr. And that's going to look like a steal for the Magic. But if you're the team that trades for OG, you want to win. You're going to give up that much. You're on the precipice of winning. You have to be. You're not trading him like the Cavs did for Donovan Mitchell to be the number 1 guy. I would hope not. It doesn't really make sense.
Right. But there you go. What was it? Brandon Ebert. Great question. And look, I mean, Cat's not being moved because I don't even think he technically can be moved yet, right? Karl-Anthony Towns. But I can't wait to see whether the Wolves move off of him and lean into the Anthony Edwards as your star player, as we've talked about, feels like all week long here, the last couple of weeks, with him being unlocked in space and being the playmaker. But we can't get to those hypotheticals just quite yet.
And if I'm Masai Ujiri, I do think about listening to all these offers. Because his value couldn't be higher. And I thought in the offseason, if he was the primary part of a trade for Kevin Durant or Donovan Mitchell, that they would be smart to do it because they need a different type of player on that team. There's no doubt, as our man John Schumann is throwing out there, lots of overlap between him, Siakam, and Barnes. He doesn't create shots, and the Raps need shot creation, 100%.
Yep.
And you bring up a good point about OG not being healthy every single season. He's out for a stretch.
Yeah.
And I think Masai probably should have pulled the trigger in the offseason. But again, as we're getting here with from Brandon's question, from Zach Lowe's reporting, the trade value could not be higher for OG Anunoby. And I don't know if it'll ever be higher, but he's worked himself into being a great supporting player, really good.
And I put all the trust in the world in Masai Ujiri to hopefully fleece somebody if he makes the decision to move like an OG. Like maybe he will get way more picks than I can even imagine he'd get in return. But I mean, he hasn't had a lot of trades, Masai Ujiri, where you felt like he was a loser in a deal. I mean, there just haven't been many. It's the opposite. It's like, oh damn, holy crap! How did he get that for X? You know, it's like he's got a pretty good track record when it comes to making these moves. So if anyone could get what sounds insane to say out loud, like a Donovan Mitchell-like package for OG, I'm sure it could be Masai and a desperate team out there that wants to add a third or fourth player that could help their chances to go really far in a postseason run. But that seems far-fetched, I think.
It does, but then you think about what the Wolves paid for Rudy Gobert, and then it becomes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like if it's that was an overpay because they thought they're one piece away.
And I did see it was Ian Begley, I believe, of SNY.TV. I mean, a lot of this OG stuff was happening before the Knicks win streak. So, take it with a grain of salt, but like the idea that the Knicks wanted OG, but it was happening before they went on like this 8-game win streak. And maybe that's like, now that they've got a rotation and they're feeling good about their team, maybe it's less likely to happen. Cause I guess like, are the Knicks considering RJ Barrett as like a player you would move for a player like OG and then whatever else has to trade hands? Like, Schumann said, the idea of the Raptors using RJ Barrett as a scorer and someone to create a little bit more, sure, but I don't think the Knicks right now, you're not going to upset the apple cart when you got an 8-game win streak going, or you're actually playing good defense under Tibbs.
No, and they're not one piece away like that. I think when we're talking about all these, it'll look like a good trade if you go and win the championship. If you're the Bucks and you overpay, it sure felt that way at the time for Drew Holiday. You trade 3 draft picks and 2 pick swaps. That's a lot, but you go and win the championship, all worth it. You just got to know that you're that close, and the Knicks don't know that they're that close. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's what it comes down to. You win, give up all the draft picks, but if you don't, then you should probably keep them. So.
Yeah. Do we want to get one more in, or do you want to get to pick them and tweet of the night on the other side?
Yeah, I want to get to pick them and tweet of the night on the other side.
Okay, let's do that. Keep those questions coming, though. Like we said, we'll hit the beach maybe later this week or even on that Monday YouTube show. Or, hell, I ain't going anywhere. I'm avoiding the airports. I'm not flying up to Canada. Too cold. So I'll be here all week next week. So maybe we'll do a couple more just Q&As on the live streams. But let's take our final break. And when we come back, pick 'em results and tweet of the night.
I live in Atlanta, but I like watching the Toronto Raptors and Toronto Blue Jays play. And that used to be a big pain for me because they don't show the games here. It doesn't happen. But this season, I discovered an amazing trick that's let me watch every single NBA and MLB game live for a fraction of the normal cost. It's called ExpressVPN. Here's how it works. The NBA offers NBA League Pass, which lets you stream games online. But if you live in the US or Canada, it doesn't let you watch all of them. Some games are blacked out. Even for us, we get the blacked out blues with our passes as well. It happens. It happens to us. So what do? Fire up ExpressVPN and use it to change your location to a different country. Buy and use the NBA League Pass from there, and boom, no blackouts. What a hack. And depending on the country, NBA League Pass could cost less than $15 for a whole year. ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch all the games from any device. Even when you're not watching NBA, you can use ExpressVPN all the time for stuff like Netflix or Disney Plus to access thousands of extra shows that are only on other countries' libraries. Enjoy all 1,230 games of the NBA season in HD with the world's most trusted VPN, ExpressVPN. And you can use our special link today to get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/nodunks. Then you can use ExpressVPN to sign up for NBA League Pass at a huge discount. That's expressvpn.com/nodunks for 3 months free with a 1-year package. expressvpn.com/nodunks.
With the bustling holiday season well underway, ready-to-eat meal delivery can lend a helping hand. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals during the holiday minus the hassle. Plus, with 34 meals per week, including Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan Plus Veggie, and 36 plus weekly add-ons, you'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. Holidays are jam-packed, but luckily Factor's fresh, never-frozen meals make it easy to fuel up fast when you're on the go. You can save time with meals delivered ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. Factor now offers 34 meals per week and 36 plus add-on options like smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep you going no matter what you've got going on. Factor is cheaper than dining out and takeout. Put the money you save towards holiday fun and you time. And thanks to Factor's commitment to ingredients with integrity, you can enjoy flavorful, chef-crafted meals guilt-free, like their creamy Parmesan chicken and 3-bean vegan chili. Need a special occasion meal? Gourmet Plus is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, upscale options done easy. When things get hectic during the holidays, Factor's flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. Stress less over meal times this holiday season. Factor's no prep, no mess meals free up time otherwise spent shopping, cooking, and doing cleanup, so you can fully enjoy the holidays without wasting hours in the kitchen. Not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions for when you're too busy to cook, they also help you stay on top of your goals. With offerings like Protein Plus and Keto, you can stay on track, which will definitely come in handy during the holidays. Factor has everything you need for a week of flavorful, nutritious eats. In addition to ready-to-eat meals, they've got cold-pressed juices, delicious smoothies, energy bites, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep you energized during these frantic holiday times. Head to go.factor75.com/nodunk60 and use code NODUNK60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code NODUNK60 at go.factor75.com/nodunk60 to get 60% off your first box.
Back here with No Dunk. Skeets, one other thing we can do this week, and on a YouTube video on the December 26th as we talk Christmas Day, we'll also bring up a lot of or open some of our packages that we've been getting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm showing you here a couple of nice stamps. These are Yogi Berra stamps from something we just got in the mail. So keep sending us your packages. Some great stuff coming in here. And I can't wait to open this. These are my Christmas gifts. I can't wait to open this one in particular. We got from our man Jeremy Bippo. This is
so there's baseball cards in there.
No, Skates. No, they're not. They're not. They're bigger than baseball cards. They're something else. I don't know what they are.
Well, just open it, man. Just open it now.
No, I can't.
Okay.
It's not Christmas.
You were never allowed to open one smaller gift.
Oh, if I was going to be beaten, yeah. If I wanted to be beaten, sure.
Wow. Jeez. That took a turn. Okay, pick 'em results last night. I had the Grizzlies because I thought, after John Morant got ejected the game before, he was going to come out, send a message to the league, ball out. He did. He was amazing. Everybody else was a piece of crap for the Grizzlies last night. It was embarrassing. Nobody could hit a shot for Memphis outside of John Morant. So the Nuggets and that Bond villain Jokic got the easy victory. So they covered as dogs. I mean, it's a straight up money line win. So Denver wins and Tassin Trey / Jerome wins. So I'm 5-9.
In
Yeah.
fairness, Skeets, would you have bet otherwise if you knew that Jokic was going to show up to the arena like that?
No. As soon as I saw that, I was in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
when a guy shows up, I mean, I also think it should almost be illegal for a professional athlete who's basically 7 feet tall to have shoulder pads in his suit. Like, they're the most, fit, chiseled people on the planet. It makes them look even crazier in shape with the shoulder pads he's got. Right? Am I alone in that?
No, without question. But I mean, it goes really well with the turtleneck. I think
It
like
does.
it's
Power
just
look.
it's very key to have like all the angles.
Made him
Let's
look
look at a
good.
result.
I didn't
They
notice.
look
I
quite
didn't-
slim.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I didn't notice the
Oh, yeah.
shoulder pads.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, when you see the up close, it is very apparent.
I mean, looks awesome, but it's like it's not fair in my mind. Come on, man. You got sloped shoulders like the rest of us. You got to deal with the consequences. I don't care how fit you are. But,
All right, well,
yeah,
let's
look.
get to tonight's games. Nice pick, Jerome, last night. Let's see if you can do it again. The Lakers in Sacramento are 6.5-point dogs. That's a lot of respect for the Sacramento Kings right there to win by 7 or more. Skeets and Trey Jerome taking those Kings. I'm happy to take the points with the Lakers, who, yes, they're playing on Christmas Day. Yes, they're side 500, but they do play pretty hard a lot of the time. So it's not as a bad taste in my mouth thinking about them playing on Christmas Day. So let's see how they roll into Christmas Day with a game tonight against the Bean Boys.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of guys. I mean, is LeBron even playing in tonight's game?
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah, he's TBD. Okay. He'll play on Christmas.
I'm just
that,
I'm just
but
purely betting on the beam. That's all it is. for
betting
me.
on the beam. Yeah, they need to bounce back after their abysmal performance the night before. Okay, two of us with the Kings, Tass taking the Lakers. He gets all those points to play with. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
I loved these pair of tweets for tweet of the night. And they go hand in hand. Now, one came in over the weekend. I saw it from @HeatNationCom. Remember, we had the Heat and Spurs down in Mexico City for a game. Well, Jimmy Butler reveals he ate crickets in Mexico. Quote, I had crickets. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'm not going to say I'm going to line up and eat 1,000 crickets, but I definitely had that. Flash forward to yesterday afternoon for the second tweet. I mean, you can't write this stuff, Tass, by Tim Reynolds. Jimmy Butler is questionable for tonight with gastrointestinal problems. Oh, my God. The crickets got him, Tass. They went down okay, but they did not sit well in Jimmy's stomach, or at least coming out the other end.
Don't blame the crickets. It ain't the crickets.
Oh, you don't think so? Something on the airplane coming back?
No, it's something. It's just a Jimmy chilling game. It happens to Jim.
It's too funny.
It's funny, but have you ever had crickets?
I think I have once. Yeah.
Did you sit out a show? No. You never sit out a show.
No. But
No cricket problems.
I mean, I like his confidence in thinking the crickets were no big deal, and then 2 days later he's listed as out because he's got issues with his stomach and his ass.
I bet Jimmy is such a showman, such a comedian. He got the extensions for media day and then took them out because he knew he'd have the photograph ready for the rest of the season. I bet he just said, "Oh, my knees hurt. You know what? Put down gastrointestinal problems," and then people will say that it was.
This is like a bit you're saying, eh?
Yeah.
Sort
yeah.
of. Well, how about
he's
this
the
from
writer.
Chigs here in the stream team? I can't fact check this, but I'll take your word. Drew Holiday missed a game after drinking cricket tea on Serge Ibaka's show. So the crickets are the kryptonite.
I watched that episode of How Hungry Are You?
Yeah.
I would drink cricket tea after.
Should be
that.
how thirsty are you if he's drinking cricket tea?
Yeah. Anyways, crickets are fine. It's very sustainable. I've had them too. We'll all
And
be eating
cricket
crickets
tea
one
is consistent across all the episodes of How Hungry Are You? So if we're going on stats, it's a truth or dare segment where you either answer the question or you drink the cricket tea. So every player has done it. So it's not a high probability that cricket tea is going to take you out if we're basing it on that.
Well, also they film these like in the summer, do they not? Or like at least
I
in
think
advance?
a lot of them are banked. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, chicks. Sorry
Yeah.
to poke holes in your cricket theory there, but something's not adding up, right? Yeah, it's a cricket conspiracy going on here. Okay,
That was a good episode too, because Drew Holiday FaceTimed Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was kind of surprised when Giannis eventually picked up, and then Giannis yelled at Serge Ibaka saying, "You're a rebounder. You're a screen setter. That's all you are." That was pretty good. That was very good. I can do Greek impersonations. I know. Do that.
That's totally.
That's it.
Totally
That's
fine.
it, though. No impersonations of any other country, unfortunately. Maybe Canadians. I guess it's a lot.
Yeah, come on, eh? Let's call it there. That was a fun show. Thanks to everybody here joining us live on YouTube in the stream team. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Comment away. Subscribe. If you're a podcast listener, leave your boys a 5-star rating and review, especially at the end of the calendar year. That would be nice to have some new reviews as we head into 23. Help us in terms of the basketball podcast rankings. Help us stay near the top for 16 years running. I mean, the longevity at this point, it's really unreal. You know, these new podcasts, they show up, Tass, and their numbers go boom, and then they're suddenly right there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what happens? You start to slowly dip down. Can you maintain it like TBJ / the starters / free agents / no dunks? I say nay. I say nay, they can't.
I like how you said, help us stay near the top.
Well, yeah, I don't know where we are. I mean, who knows? Sometimes we're top 5 somewhere. Sometimes we're top 10. Sometimes we're top 20, and it changes from country to country. You know, the Philippines, they hold us down.
Yeah,
we might still be number 1 for all I know there.
Yeah, so help us out, and we will be back tomorrow. And it sort of sounds, I guess, like you're saying goodbye, Skeets, but we're not going anywhere. We got people in the stream team asking, "Is this the last episode of the year? Are we back tomorrow?" No, tomorrow, Friday, Monday.
Yeah, no, we're not
YouTube.
going anywhere.
Monday on YouTube.
Back tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're ripping some packs again. Some Top Shot packs. We'll do that later in the show tomorrow. But we have a ton of games on tonight, so we'll be breaking them all down, or as many as we can, on tomorrow's podcast, live at 10 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. Jerome, thank you. Tassie, always great to see you. Everybody, thanks again for joining us live. We'll see you tomorrow. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, are there cricket cheesesteaks? What? Is that my holy king throwing that in there? I don't know if Jerome knows that. But anyways, I'm not going to asking you, Jerome, don't come on. I'm interested in the cricket food world. I'm interested.
Brace the day, people.
You could stay